Well,
Cool.
That's excellent.
Yeah, we need to go back and do the Two Truths and a Lie if you have a minute.
I don't know why I'm struggling with this. Yeah, I don't know. So, I don't know. Military guy, kind of old school, but I'm gonna say I'm a cat guy. I'm a big nasty hill climb champion, and I've never jumped out of an airplane.
Oh.
I don't know. It's supposed to be two.
Is that a
truths.
lie that you never jumped out of an airplane?
Yeah. Too easy. Too easy. I don't know.
How about
I'm not
something
really
like-
good at this game.
How about
I'm-
something like I have 23 cats at my house? That would be a
No,
lie.
I only have 2.
But that would be the lie. We'd have to
Yeah.
guess that.
Yeah. That
You're bad at this game, Chief.
I know. I'm not. Yeah. But that's kind of an interesting deal there too, because I mean, I don't think I know we're all tough, right? We're tough military guys and old school and set in my ways, but man, I never thought I'd be a cat guy, and that just kind of strikes people sometimes because everybody, I should be a dog guy, right? I should have a big dog, like whatever. But yeah. Anyways, I got 2 cats, and they're like my best friends. So
I won't tell anybody.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I got
Yeah.
2 cats too.
right.
I have
You
0
won't-
cats.
You guys
0.
won't tell anybody,
Yeah. No,
No, because you just did.
not at all.
right?
We're keeping it.
Yep.
Good morning. It's season 3 of GI and a Cup of Joe. Thank you all for making seasons 1 and 2 a huge success. Again, I'm your co-host, Annie T.
And I am Justin C. It's pretty badass to hear all these stories of how everyday regular people with everyday regular struggles took a chance to better themselves with the opportunities in the Idaho Army National Guard.
And they didn't just do it for themselves, they did it for their families, future, past, and present. Officially, I'm Sergeant First Class Annie Torres.
And I am Command Sergeant Major Justin Cole. We encourage everyone listening to dress right dress.
Which is like, share, and subscribe.
Enjoy Season 3. So today we are talking to officially Chief Warrant Officer 5, Ed Barnowski, but honestly, he's just Ed. Let's go back to high school. Where did you attend high school and what kind of student were you?
I went to Emmett High School. I was raised over in Emmett. And what kind of student was I? I probably could have done a lot better. Yeah, a lot better.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, I wasn't much into studies and stuff like that. I like to hunt and fish and ride dirt bikes, so definitely could have done better.
What were your favorite subjects in school?
Motocross,
Of course.
mostly, dirt bikes. I don't know. I wasn't a math guy at all. Sounds funny. Probably not history. I don't know. Maybe science,
Okay.
something like that. Let's just say I could have done a whole lot better
Yeah?
in high school. Yeah. But,
it-
you realize that later in life.
Right.
So it
Hindsight?
was kind of funny. Yeah. When I graduated, my parents were very supportive. I was the youngest of 4. So quite a bit younger, maybe a mistake, I don't know, or an accident. But my parents, they were real supportive, and I didn't know where I was going to go after high school. So they gave me the offer to pay for college. And they're like, we would help you with college, but you got to do a whole lot better than you did in high school. So college wasn't for me at that time. But yeah.
Totally understand that.
So thinking back to your senior year, what did you want to be when you grew up?
That's a funny question because I think like a dream was to be, I've been into motorcycles since I started riding and racing motorcycles since I was 9 years old, and I always kind of thought that I'd like to be a professional motorcycle racer, motocross style. But that wasn't really in the cards for me because I was okay, but I wasn't at that category. So I don't know. I started working growing up over in Emmett. I started working at 14 years old. So it's kind of funny because I don't know. I think a lot of times kids think, I thought, hey, what do I need school for? I got a job, right? I'm 14. I got a job. I'm earning money. I'm making a living at whatever, making some money. But, I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I graduated.
So what influenced you to look at the the Idaho Army National Guard?
Well, I was raised, my dad was 20 years Air Force, raised in a military structured home. My dad was pretty set in his ways, old school, so military structured home. Like I said, my dad was 20 years military. My dad served in the Korean War and in Vietnam, so I've got 2 older brothers. My oldest brother graduated. He went in the Air Force for a couple of years. Didn't work out awesome for him, but he went into the military. And then my other brother joined the Idaho Army National Guard, and it was working out good for him. So honestly, when I graduated high school, I thought, man, I'll join the Guard. We had the tank company there in Emmett, and I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I thought it was a good direction, kind of get me headed in a direction, right?
Right.
So I thought I'd join the Guard, and I really thought that, you know, I'd probably like the military, but I wanted to get a taste for it. I wanted to go through basic and AIT, and then I figured I'd probably come back and look at going active duty. But so I graduated in 85. I know that's a long time ago. Graduated in 85, joined the Guard right out of high school, went to basic training in 1986 as I came in as a tank crewman on the M60 tank, if anybody remembers what that might be.
Oh, yeah.
That was a while ago. So I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot of things about myself at basic training. You know, I wasn't really into team sports in high school. I rode dirt bikes, BMX bikes. I hunted, I skied. Kind of a lot of activities and sports that just included, you know, just my abilities and stuff. So when I went to basic training, I learned a lot about myself. You know, I learned that I could run. I learned that I could, you know, function as a part of a team and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed the structure. So when I came back, there were a lot of opportunities out here at Gowan Field for jobs, and my brother was working out here full time, so he encouraged me to come out, and I put in for a job, and I've been working here on Gowan Field since 1986. Since I was 18 years old is when I started here.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome, really.
One of the things that we have is we bring the newly graduated kids in here to tell us their basic training stuff. And it is just surprising, just verbally, how things have changed over time, right? Looking back at basic training, what was the hardest thing about basic training for you?
Oh, the hardest thing? I don't know. Honestly, I mean, a lot of stuff that I've been involved with in the Guard, like mission stuff and everything. The hardest thing has always been being away from home, being away from friends, being away from family. The training and the vigor and the difficult tasks that we got to do. I've always been okay with that. I think it's a mindset that I've always had, that it's just something that you got to do. But I assume that basic training in 1986 was probably a lot different than what it is now. So it was tough. I mean, you know, it's not like nobody physically abused you, but there was a lot of verbal abuse and things that we did that didn't make a lot of sense. And I just bet it's a lot different now, but I would say it's tough. But the toughest thing for me was just, you know, especially that I was pretty young, graduated high school and went right into it. So I missed home. I didn't want to be away from home. And it was basic and AIT, one station unit training deal. So I think I was gone for like 6 months or so, you know,
Was that
right
the
out
first
the
time
gate.
you were away from home?
Yeah, for sure. So that was probably the hardest part for me. I enjoyed the structure. I enjoy the military. You know, I know,
Yeah, for sure.
like I've said it many times, it's not for everybody, but I enjoy it. And I stayed a long time. I just went over 38 years, so
That's incredible.
it's worked out great. I would say, and honestly, 38 years, it's been 98% awesome. And that's pretty good. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
that 2%.
there's a
Yeah.
there's a 2% in there when days weren't great or, you know, whatever, but
Sure.
yeah, it's been 98%
I think that's with
awesome.
everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you started out as a tanker. I thought you were in maintenance your whole career.
No, I started out as a tanker. I thought it'd be fun. I think to remain a tanker, you got to really love it. You know,
Sure.
you live and train on those tanks, and I admire anybody that sticks with it. But I spent 3 summer camps at the time. I had, AT periods as a tanker, and I went through driver, loader, gunner, and it is pretty fun to shoot those tanks. And but I was always looking across the way at that M88 recovery vehicle, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I had some friends in maintenance, so the first job that I got out here was actually as a mechanic for the school at that time, and I liked being a mechanic, so I transferred right over, went to school, and transferred over to maintenance MOS about 3 years in.
And you've been working in maintenance on Gowan ever since?
I have, yeah, forever. So I just closed out a technician career of 35 years in maintenance. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's been awesome.
Cool. I'm a fan of trade skills in general, so
Yeah.
I think everybody should be a mechanic at some
Yep.
point.
I am too, and there's a lot of skills that go along with it, welding and just a lot of different things so that I got to be involved with over the years. So I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I went that way. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Project Filter. Let's chat about that.
Project Filter, that's been, they call us ambassadors. I'm an ambassador, sponsored motocross rider for Project Filter. I've been with them since 2009. And Project Filter is Idaho's tobacco prevention program. When I started with them in 2009, it was kind of a fluke deal where a neighbor of mine was doing some marketing for Project Filter, and he could see, I had my dirt bikes and a few trophies in the garage and stuff. And he came to me one day and asked what I would think about a sponsorship with Project Filter. And he felt like I'd be a good representative. And I thought, man, sponsorships just don't come around too often for amateur riders. So I kind of humored him. I said, yeah, I'd be interested. And man, he came back to me about a week later and he said, can you give me a resume of all your experience, and he military too. I mean, they were, impressed with that part of it as well, and, so I put together a resume, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting down at the health and welfare department down there on 5th Street around a conference table talking to a bunch of people in suits that work there, and they were interested in bringing me on as a sponsor rider representative for the program. I had no idea where that was going to go, but it was a pretty cool offer. And again, like I got into it a couple years in. I really liked it. So I do a lot of community stuff, a lot of boothing within communities. I do a lot of school visits, and it's about tobacco prevention, encouraging kids not to use tobacco or vaping. And I actually got into teaching classes, quick classes out here on Gallant Field. A lot of people probably don't remember that, but for about 3 years I taught classes out here, quick classes for Project Filter. But I wanted, with my military connection, I wanted to help soldiers. So
Yeah.
it's been awesome. It's been a good ride, and it's not all about the racing. So my dirt bike is graphicked up with Project Filter graphics. You've probably seen my trailer around post.
Yep.
And stuff. So that's a traveling billboard, and I advertise for them. And then when I go out to the races, it's about being, just a healthy vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I like
yeah.
that.
So that's what it is. It's like most, just like the military experience. I mean, it's been way better than I ever expected. I had no idea where we were headed with it when I started in 2009. but where we're at today is pretty awesome. I'm proud to be a representative for them.
Yeah, I see you guys everywhere, like I
Yeah.
said before.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
It's
I
like the
think-
new DARE program.
Yeah.
I found my
exactly what
DARE
it is.
pin
Yeah,
the other
you
day
know-
from grade school.
And it's one thing I've always liked about it. It's no pressure program. I mean, we're not pressuring anybody. You know, it's not they don't use any scare tactics or anything like that. So it's just we just help people basically when they want it, when they need it, when they ask for it. We're there to help them quit or.
That's awesome.
And then, like I said, a lot of it's encouragement for our younger population to not use.
Have you been
know,
able to
so-
help any soldiers through that?
I have, and
That's
one frustrating thing about teaching the classes, it's a hard habit to break, right?
Yeah.
So I really put a lot of heart into it, and not just with soldiers, but teaching the classes. And you think that you've got somebody, and they're going to quit, and people do quit for a while, but then. You know, the statistics show that a lot of people, it's so difficult to quit that a lot of people start back up again and stuff. So it's just, it's kind of tough. You know, it's a vicious cycle. So I kind of got frustrated with that part of it. And then the support for teachers in that area wasn't real strong. So I'm not teaching the classes anymore, but I still do, like I said, a lot of school visits and community support stuff. So
I still think that's great.
yeah.
I think it's great.
Absolutely.
So besides your 38 years in the military, what has been a good accomplishment?
I'm going to say, I mean, my family, right?
Of course.
This is this year, 20-year anniversary. I've been married to my wife, Ann, and we've got 5 children. We got together and blended our family. She had 3 kids, and I had 2 that we brought into the situation, and it wasn't always easy, wasn't always fun, but we've done it for 20 years. They're all older now. We're empty nesters. They're all out of the house and doing good, so doing their own thing, and so I'm going to say that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, my 38 years in the military I'm pretty proud of that.
I would be too.
Yeah.
And to do something, like I've said, you know, that I enjoy. I mean, I enjoy it. I can't imagine ever doing anything else. And I'm getting down, you know, the gap is narrowing. I'm getting down to my last 2-3 years-ish. And, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, we say it all the time that time goes by fast, and it really does.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But I can confidently say that looking back, I really wouldn't change anything. It's been awesome. So,
What
And-
rank were you when you came in the Guard? Were you just a PV1?
Mhm.
And now you're a
Yeah.
CW5
yeah,
top
yeah,
chief in the
that-
state? That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome too. I've had a lot of cool opportunities, so I appreciate them all. This organization's been good to me. So, and then third, you know, I'm pretty proud of my achievements motorcycle racing. It's my thing. You know, it's funny because you think about a lifetime and your interests and stuff, and my interests never really changed. You know, when I was 9 years old, I was racing dirt bikes and riding bicycles, and that's what I do now is I race dirt bikes, and I do a lot of mountain bike, and I actually race mountain bikes from time to time, and I don't know, it's just awesome. So
You've got that go fast blood in you.
yeah, I don't know. They say once that stuff gets in your blood, it's hard to shake it.
It's
so,
true.
yeah, I mean there were times, you know, throughout my life that, you know, when kids were young and stuff, I didn't ride as much and I didn't race as much, but I always came back to it. So, and I'm
It's a
still
good
doing
hobby
it
to
now.
have.
Yeah,
Definitely.
people ask me all the time, geez, Chief, how much longer are you going to ride motorcycles? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know guys that ride into their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So
Why not?
maybe I got 30 more years left to ride. I don't know. We'll see. So pretty fortunate, you know, keep myself physically fit and stuff. And that's worked out pretty good. I've had a few injuries along the way, but nothing I couldn't work through. So
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So, if you had an opportunity to give a high school student advice, potentially a high school student that doesn't know what he wants to do with his future, what would you say to that high school student?
I don't know. Just, I'm not saying the military is for everybody, but I know, we know that being members of the military, that there's a lot of good benefits, and but I know there's a lot of other jobs out there that have good benefits too. But with my own kids, we've got 5, and 1 is in the military now, and I didn't push any of them to be in the military. That option was there. We had a couple, we got 4 daughters, so had a couple of our daughters. I brought them out and talked to recruiters and just, gave them the choice. And so of the 5, 1's in the military. So I don't push the military on anybody. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of good organizations to work for. But like I said, I mean, my loyalties lie with the military, and I think it's a great way to go. So I don't know, just be true to yourself. Like I said, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I gave it a try, and I thought the National Guard would be, a good thing to venture into, and not knowing if it was going to work out or not. But I discovered, for me personally, that the military was for me. I really enjoyed the structure, and I still do today. I can't imagine doing anything else. And I've worked with a lot of different organizations, especially with my Project Filter work that I do. I've worked with a lot of different civilian organizations, and even, our connections through the military. And I just like our structure, and I like our professionalism and the people that we get the opportunity to work with every day.
So we get to the point in the podcast where we got to ask the final question. This is the most important question, right? Yeah. This is the Sasquatch Battalion. So is Sasquatch real, Chief?
That's funny. It's funny to me because my family I've got a brother-in-law, and we share memes, Sasquatch memes, and he swears that he's seen Sasquatch. Him and his brother years ago swear that they had a Sasquatch encounter. I don't know if I can go personal on you here, but I know I don't have any hair on my head, but I'm kind of a hairy guy throughout the body, and my kids over the years have called me Sasquatch. So
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I can be vulnerable here, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's probably something. I mean, I've never personally seen Sasquatch, but I don't know. I think he's probably out there somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
I think so.
That's a 4 Sasquatch. We're gonna log it.
Yeah,
I think you
so.
should.
Well, we are out of time for today. Join us next Wednesday for another episode of GI and a Cup of Joe.
As we said in the beginning of the podcast, please dress right dress and enjoy your week.